Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about 10 horror movies on Tubi that are perfect for this time of year. And with that, let's get to the list. The Cleansing Hour is a 2019 supernatural horror movie. Directed by Damien Levesque, it stars Kyle Gowner, Ryan Guzman, and Alex Angelis. The story's about two entrepreneurs who stage elaborate fake exorcisms until one of their girlfriends becomes possessed by a demon.
And cut. Nice job, everybody. Good job.
So I wanted to kick this list off with a movie that I think is just perfect for what I'm going for on this list. It's creepy, it's atmospheric, it's got that spooky quality, but there's an element of fun to it. It's not so overly serious and bleak that you can't enjoy yourself. Because I think what works best for a movie for this season is one that is creepy. It's gonna put chills up your spine and maybe freak you out a little bit, but you're having fun with it, kind of like a haunted house. And so I didn't put movies on this list that were super bleak or disturbing. And so I tried my best to stick with that for this entire list. But this movie is so criminally underrated, it really blows my mind because the special effects are on point, the acting is great. I mean, Kyle Gowner's in it. But yet it's a very small production, limited resources type of movie. But they make it work so well because of the setting, because of what the whole concept and idea behind this is. But in the final act, this movie really goes for it, and I think it's so entertaining. So if you've yet to see this, do yourself a favor and check it out. The Exorcism of God is a 2021 supernatural horror movie, co-written and directed by Alejandro Hidalgo. It stars Will Bainbrook, Iran Castillo, and Joseph Marcel. An American priest working in Mexico is possessed during an exorcism and ends up committing a terrible act. And years later, the consequences of his act come back to haunt him.
The inmates have suffered the influence of the evil one.
She has symptoms of epilepsy, hysteria.
There are so many religious horror movies that deal with possession. It's a genre that has just been absolutely done to death. And to be honest, I'm pretty sick of it. This one, however, is absolutely worth seeing. It's so weird. It does some very strange things. A lot of unexpected elements in this, especially the central idea behind this, that I don't want to give away because it would really spoil it, but it takes this movie in a very weird direction. But it also has an element of campiness, it's creepy, there's some cool imagery, some designs and things that they do that just don't look and feel like a lot of other things you've seen. And even though it gets creepy as hell, it doesn't take itself so overly serious that you can't have fun with it. But I think this movie is a real hidden gem and one that I highly recommend. Frankenstein's Army is a 2013 found footage horror movie. Directed by Richard Raffors, it stars Carell Roden, Joshua Sass, and Luke Newberry. In the dying days of World War II, a battalion of Russian soldiers is lured into the secret lab of a deranged scientist and forced to face off against an army of flesh and metal war machines.
What the hell is that?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Yes, this movie is found footage, but I'm telling you, it's not like any other found footage movie you've ever seen. Because a lot of the reason why movies are made found footage is because you could do them on a tiny budget. So there's not much in the way of special effects or things like that. But that's not the case with this one at all, because the practical effects, the different weird things that they do, and the creativity behind that is not like any other found footage movie out there. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know how well I'm doing as far as editing out every time this damn nose hits this microphone, but this is not a well planned out idea. I did not think about how this ginormous nose was going to be constantly hitting the microphone. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Unfortunately, I won't know until I'm editing this together, and you guys are just going to have to deal with whatever works out to be. But this movie is savage and brutal. It gets gory and graphic and pretty gross as well. But honestly, the best way to sum this one up, it's just badass. It's such a cool idea that's executed so well. So even if found footage movies are not normally your thing, I'm telling you, trust me, give this one a look, because it is not like any other found footage movie out there. So I think this is a must-see for any fan of horror.
I'm ending this tonight.
It ain't over.
Dark Harvest is a 2023 horror movie. Directed by David Slade, it stars Casey Likes, Emery Crutchfield, Elizabeth Reeser, and Jeremy Davies. In a small Midwestern town, a deadly annual ritual unfolds when the mythical nightmare Sawtooth Jack rises from the cornfields and challenges the town's teenage boys to a battle for survival.
Your sacred duty is to take down Sawtooth Jack before that church bell rings at midnight.
This is one that is now in my rotation every single Halloween season because it has everything I love for a horror movie for this season. It's got the ambiance, the atmosphere, the look, that creepy, spooky feeling, especially in the night scenes. There's a lot of fog and just this creepy, cold feeling that reminds me of being a kid running through the streets trick-or-treating on Halloween. Besides that, it has a great cast, it's well shot, well directed, and the special effects, especially for the creature design in this, are on point and just badass. But if you're in the mood for a spooky, atmospheric little horror movie, this is a phenomenal pick. "13 Ghosts" is a 2001 supernatural horror movie, directed by Steve Beck in his directorial debut. It's a remake of the 1960 film by William Castle and stars Matthew Lillard, Tony Shalhoub, and Shannon Elizabeth. When a rich collector of unique things dies, he leaves his house, fortune, and his prized collection of ghosts to his nephew.
Oh my God.
It is a one-of-a-kind home.
It's marvelous, isn't it?
All right, so this one I'm cheating just a little bit because technically this doesn't come out till the 1st, so unfortunately a day after Halloween. But I mean, it's always Halloween around here, and the idea that this movie, which I've wanted to talk about for a long time, is finally available on Tubi, I couldn't resist. I had to talk about it. I love this movie so much, from the creative design of all the ghosts to the gore to the way the house itself is designed. It's incredibly fun. It's also one of my favorite performances from Matthew Lillard. He's incredibly entertaining in this. But it's one of those movies that's just cheesy enough, just campy enough that you can have fun with it while still having some creepy, spooky, and just gross, brutal, gory elements to it as well. But for me, this movie is really nostalgic, and honestly, it just epitomizes what I mean when I say a fun horror movie. So if it's been a while since you've seen this, or if for whatever reason you've never seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Now it begins. It begins.
Pumpkinhead is a 1988 folk creature feature horror movie. Directed by Stan Winston in his directorial debut, it stars Lance Hendrickson, John D'Aquino, and Jewel Hoffman. After a tragic accident, a man conjures up a vengeful demon called Pumpkinhead to destroy a group of teenagers who were responsible.
What do you want, Ed Hardy? Say it. You're looking for vengeance. Vengeance. Say it.
This is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love the look of Pumpkinhead. I love the style of it. I love the costume design of the creature in this. It's just badass. but the atmosphere, the spooky old woman in the woods, and just the way they shoot these woods, the blue light, the atmosphere, all of that foggy, creepy, moody element that this movie does is just exactly what I picture when I think about a movie for this time of year. Besides that, it's a really well done story. It's tragic, and then with the performance of Lance Henriksen, it just really is a well done movie. And it's also so cool because Stan Winston is known for his special effects. He's one of the greatest special effects artists ever. But for him to direct this movie, you could see that it was made by someone who appreciates the look and atmosphere of a movie as much as anything. But I find this movie to be so creepy and haunting in the best way possible, and I just think it's a perfect pick for this time of year. Beezel is a 2024 supernatural horror movie, co-written and directed by Aaron Fradkin. It stars Victoria Fradkin, Nicholas Robin, and Bob Gallagher. Over 60 years, 3 guests of a cursed home discover an eternal witch who lives beneath it, with an insatiable thirst for human souls.
Why are you doing this, man?
I've made a lot of sacrifices in my life, and I was chosen by her.
So going into this, you got to keep in mind, this is a very small movie. It doesn't have a big budget. You could definitely see some of the flaws and things like that in it, but I think that gives it charm. That adds to the creepiness that this movie has. But it's definitely not a movie to overthink or pick apart, because if you do, you're definitely not going to enjoy it. It's just a creepy, moody little movie that I find to be very entertaining. And some of the scenes in this are downright scary, definitely uncomfortable, and will keep you on the edge of your seat. But as long as you go into this with the right expectations and don't expect too much, I think this one is so entertaining.
Stop looking at me!
Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons is a 1988 supernatural horror movie. Directed by Kevin S. Tenney, it stars Amelia Kincaid, Linnea Quigley, and Kathy Podwell. 10 teenagers party at an abandoned funeral parlor on Halloween night. But when an evil force awakens, demonic spirits keep them from leaving and turn their gathering into a living hell.
Night of the Demons.
I mean, hot girls, demons, practical effects, 1980s fun. Honestly, what more could you want? This one is absolutely one of my favorite Halloween movies ever. It just has everything that you want in a horror movie for Halloween. It's spooky and unnerving, it's creepy, atmospheric, while also being entertaining and fun and not taking itself overly serious. I mean, all I gotta say is Linnea Quigley and lipstick. That right there tells you everything that you need to know about this film. It's also imaginative and creative and takes something that we've seen done so many different ways and finds a way to still give it a unique feel. Because this movie doesn't feel like every other demonic possession, demon night type of movie. It has its own flavor. Either way, I think this movie is an absolute blast and perfect to watch for Halloween.
God does not spare angels when they sin.
Lords of Salem is a 2012 supernatural horror movie, written, produced, and directed by Rob Zombie. It stars Sherry Moon Zombie, Jeff Daniel Phillips, and Ken Foray. A radio DJ is sent a box containing a record, which causes her to have flashbacks of her town's violent past.
You have to understand that there is a war waging in heaven.
So I'm well aware that Rob Zombie's movies don't work for everybody. So that's fine. I'm not saying that you should like them. It's it's like anything, right? Some people love it, some people hate it. Of all his movies though, this is the one I think that so many people are sleeping on. I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's because a lot of people checked out after he did his version of Halloween, and after that it was like, anything Rob Zombie does, we're not going to give it a chance, a fair shake, whatever. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it wasn't promoted right or what, but it feels like Not enough people talk about this movie. Not enough people have even seen it. It's one that I feel like every time I mention, people are like, whoa, really? I've never seen that one. Is it any good? And I hear that constantly. And that just blows me away because I honestly think besides probably Devil's Rejects, this is his best movie. It's definitely the best performance from Sherry Moonzombie. I think she does a phenomenal job in this role. But it has some cool twists and turns and goes in a lot of really fun directions, especially when it comes to the witchy element. It also really goes for it, especially towards the end. It gets wild and pretty brutal. But I think it has a great look and feel and style. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It just has that vibe, that it thing that I'm talking about that I think works so well for the Halloween season. I think this movie is just so slept on, very, very underrated. So if you've yet to see it, I think it's one you definitely need to check out.
Don't stop till the screaming starts, you dig?
The Frighteners.
Frighteners is a 1996 supernatural comedy horror movie. Directed by Peter Jackson, it stars Michael J. Fox, Trini Alvarado, and Jeffrey Combs. After a car accident kills his wife, a man discovers he can communicate with the dead, so he uses his gift to con people. But when a demonic spirit appears, he's the only one who can stop it.
Okay, well, folks, I can do a clearance, but it's not going to be cheap. Although I do offer a 6-month guarantee.
There is so much to love about this movie. Not only does it look fantastic, moody, creepy, atmospheric, all the things I've been talking about with all the movies on this list, it really is that perfect Halloween time of year feeling movie. But besides that, the performances here are incredible. This is one of my favorite Jeffrey Combs performances. I mean, it's right up there with the very best of any of his performances. But then you have Michael J. Fox, who was still at the peak of his powers. Yes, I guess he was already starting to have some ailments, but we didn't know as the public yet. We couldn't tell in his acting. But then you also have a very memorable performance by Arlie Ernie. Just everybody. I mean, the cast is incredible in this movie and they all do a fantastic job. It's quirky, it's funny, it's weird. The special effects, I mean, this is really cutting edge special effects. Some of the CGI and stuff that was done in this, it was some of the first CG that was really ever done. And this is basically the movie that got Peter Jackson the contract to make the Lord of the Rings movies. If it wasn't for this and him proving that Weta could do these special effects and things like that, he wouldn't have gotten that. And that right there is film history. So there's a lot to love in this movie, a lot of amazing historical elements and fun facts about this. It's such a fantastic movie that I think isn't talked about as much as it deserves and isn't considered a cult classic to the degree that I think it deserves either. So I think this movie is incredible and a perfect pick for this Saturday night. So do yourself a favor, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn, that's my nose, and your candy, and enjoy! And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button, and remember guys, horror can be fun, and I'll see you guys next time!